Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Crowell Insurance Company, the insurance superheroes. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. Mark Macknick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Manager Peyton Roberts. She's actively involved in several organizations, including host of the Student Council. Peyton would like to thank her family, friends, and fellow managers for their constant support and encouragement after graduation. She plans to attend Marion University of Civil College, where she will pursue an associate of applied science degree in veterinary nursing. Ladies and gentlemen, Peyton Roberts. First member of our senior cheer team, Aviana Berrios. She's also been a team captain for the last two. Aviana would like to thank Jesus for the beautiful gift of life and privilege to be blessed to do what she loves. She would also like to thank her parents for their amazing support and unconditional love and the sacrifices they've made to get her where she is. She will be attending IUI to pursue her cheerleader career and a major in dentistry to become a pediatric dental hygienist. Ladies and gentlemen, Aviana Berrios. Our next senior is Delaney Espino. She will be invited to attend Natural Helpers trip this winter. Will be inducted in the Foreign Language Honor Society in March. She would like to thank all her coaches for the time and effort they've put into the team. She'd also like to thank Coach Rachel for always being there for the team. When Coach Laura couldn't, even though everything they have going on in their own lives, they still choose to show up and support the team every day. Lastly, she'd like to thank her parents for making all of this possible. And thank you for believing in her. After high school, Delaney plans to attend Indiana University's O'Neill School of Public and Environmental Affairs to pursue a career as a criminal prosecutor. Ladies and gentlemen, Delaney Espino. Our next senior is McKenna Gu. Where she's earned 2 gold at the state level in the solo and ensemble competition. She's also a member of the National Honor Society Sparkle Cheer and HOSA. She recently finished 3rd in finals in the Distinguished Young Women's Program and has earned the Fitness Award. She'd like to thank her mom and dad for always supporting her throughout all of her years of high school by showing up when she is needed for her biggest cheerleader. After she graduates, she plans to attend either Ball State or IUN to study radiology and specialize in MRI. Ladies and gentlemen, our next senior is Kristen Howard. Kristen began her high school cheer her sophomore year and has now completed her 3rd year while also returning to competitive cheer and tumble headquarters for her senior year, where she served as captain of her competitive team this season. She's also involved in Sparkle Cheer and Unified Track. During her cheer career, Kristen has earned her Rookie of the Year sophomore year, outstanding leadership her junior year, and has been named team captain her junior and senior years. She was a member of the cheer and tumble headquarters first team to attend the D2 Summit in 2023. She'd like to thank all of her coaches and past teammates for all of their support and being there for her. After graduation, Krista plans to attend Indiana University Northwest to pursue a degree in dental hygiene. Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Howard. Our next senior is Morton Hewley. Being estimated by She's planned for 2 years and began cheering for 2 years to step outside her comfort zone and try something new. She really love it. Very fast in trying out her senior year as well. Morgan would like to sincerely thank her parents and family for their constant love and support, along with special thanks to her grandpa for always being there for her as her personal chauffeur. Morgan would like to thank her coaches and all of her teammates for all of their support. After graduation, Morgan plans to attend Western Michigan University or IU Bloomington, where she will major in pre-nursing or biology to become a certified registered nurse anesthesiologist. Ladies and gentlemen, Morgan Hewley. Our next senior is Kylie Lane. Being escorted by Johanna and his mom, Jessica. Kylie started cheerleading career with Portage in 2018 and did all-star cheer in 2024, then joined the high school cheerleading team. Some of her accomplishments are all-world finalist, U.S. finals gold ticket winner, summit finalist, and 2025 UCA All-American. She'd like to thank her parents for all of their support and time that they have contributed to her sport and never-ending love of sport. She would like to thank her family, her boyfriend, and his family, and her friends for always being there for her, supporting her, and encouraging her. She'd also like to thank her coaches, past and present, for making her the person she is today. Kylie is undecided on where she will attend college, but will major in biology to become a future OBGYN. Ladies and gentlemen, Kylie Lane. Our final senior is Gianna Mariquin, being escorted by another participants. Throughout the high school journey, Gianna has been proudly by the first cheer basketball and by track. Her accomplishments are being in the World Language Honor Society for Spanish. She'd like to thank her family for their constant support in helping her through the past 4 years, as well as her English teachers, Mrs. Reinbold and Ms. Demoff. Her health science teacher, Mrs. Wilson, and former student resources officer, Officer Howard. After graduation, she will be attending Arizona State University, where she plans to major in veterinary medicine. Ladies and gentlemen, Gianna Mariquin. Please join me in one more round of applause for the senior class for our stunt manager and cheer team.
Have you heard? Stratton Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton Manteau.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Company's Insurance Professionals, Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City. Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
Located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, the newly renovated Hampton Inn is within walking distance to over 30 restaurants and attractions, including Lucas Oilfield and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a fitness center. Why wait? Make your reservations today. Call 317-261-1200 or make them on the web at hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
Old Man Winter is just around the corner, and that means temperatures will soon begin to drop. And a region winter is not the time to be left out in the cold. The professionals at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling can tune up that old furnace or install a new unit that can last for years. Your family deserves to stay comfortable this winter, and with 24/7 emergency service, comfort is just a phone call away. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, 219-923-4441. Or for more info, the website is forajobdoneright.com.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT. Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Crowell Insurance Company, the insurance superheroes. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. Mark Machnick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network. We come to you tonight from Portage High School as the Region Sports Network presents live video coverage of Indiana High School boys basketball as the Hammond Morton Governors take on the Portage Indians. I'm Andrew Mild. I'll have the play-by-play for tonight's action, and joining me with the color analysis is Zach Miller. Good evening, Zach.
Andrew, it is a fun night for some late season boys basketball here in the newly named Renee Turpa Gymnasium. We were able to watch that a week or so ago. It's been a fun part of the year as we go into sectionals, Andrew, and I'm fun to cover this one with you.
You're talking about sectionals, that starts up next Tuesday, and for both these teams, coincidentally, they will be opening up their sectional. Portage, who is in sectional 2, that will be played at Chesterton. They take on the Trojans, a team they lost to by 10 just a few weeks ago. And for the Governors, they'll play LC in sectional 1, that game being played at Crown Point. So, Zach, you and I were talking about it before we went live today, that both these teams are going to be playing at 110% and trying to fix any sort of weaknesses they have, knowing that, hey, we're going to be playing on Tuesday in a short time.
Yes, you've got two different teams who have really had two different type of seasons, you know, with Portage winning 18-4, and then Morton going 5-17. It's gone two different directions for these teams. However, in the state of Indiana, both teams are going to make the playoffs, and they're both going to be open in their sectional. So regardless of what's happened before this game, really it's everything that happens during this game and afterwards is what counts. So if you can build momentum in this game, anything can go your way. You get playing good at the end of the season in the sectionals.
You want to talk about a great story this year in the region. It was certainly the start from the Portage Indians, a team that lost 4 of their top players in the Wellman twins, who both went off to college, Garrett Clark and Omari Evans. Everyone really kind of wrote them off considering how tough the DAC is with Crown Point, Chesterton. Usually you mix in Valparaiso towards third. But they were the only left undefeated team in this part of the state. And on top of that, they're 18-4, as you said. They've lost 4 in a row, but that was against some really good teams in South Bend Adams, Crown Point, Chesterton, and LaPorte, where they only lost by 2, but they're missing their leading scorer in Carter Kobe.
Yes, some top teams they played against as well, so you're going to get that challenge playing against some tougher teams, while at the same time losing your top player and top scorer, averaging 22 a game in Carter Kobe. So it's a bit of a period for the Indians here where they're trying to find their identity without their leading scorer. And yeah, they've dropped their last 4, but I think they're starting to find a groove here, get into this part. And now, you know, they're back at home, back in the gym, the matchup that they like. And I think they're going to try and continue to find that identity going into the sectional. Say, okay, we may not have Carter, but we have everyone else. We have great players like Bryce Kobe, like Dennis Moran, like Mikey Rivera. They got players other than Carter Kobe. It wasn't a one-person team. You don't go undefeated to start the year with just one player, Andrew, you know. They got a few good players on this team, and they're just going to have to lean on them more like they've had to the last couple of games to get things going.
Yeah, for Portage, they've won 2 in a row since that 4-game losing streak with a blowout win against Munster, and most recently they won by 21 against Phelan Leadership Academy. And you said the name Dennis Moran III. This junior shooting guard has really been the player that has stepped up in absence of Carter Kobe. He had 29 points in the win against Phelan.
Yeah, I know him, and along with the Kobe brothers, I want to say they played for the Darius Garland Elite AAU team this past summer. So, that's 3 high-level players, and this is a kid who's really been waiting for that opportunity. Not that he was wanting something to happen that way, but with someone of that ability, all he needs is just a little bit of a spark and a little bit of a window to open for him, to where now he's been able to shine the past few games with the increased opportunity.
On the other side, for the Governors, who were on the road, 4-18, they went 0-3 in conference play. This is their lowest win total since the 2009-2010 season, where they went 4-17. But Zach, this team just looking to finish strong and hopefully carry some momentum into sectionals. As their coach Darnell Walker said, if they can find more consistency, play as a union, and play good defense, they might make some noise there in sectional 1.
Yes, like we said, you can play as great as you can or as poorly as you can to start the year, but once you get in the sectionals, that's all thrown out the window. If you keep winning then, that's all that matters. Looking at some players on this team, they got good players like guard Desir Brodnax, averaging 12 points a game. He's been good. 48, 38, 89 splits for the senior. He's a really good and efficient scoring guard. Joshua Hinton, they're big, 6'7", averaging 5'5", 2.5 blocks a game for them. That's a big presence in the middle. The coach Klaus of Portage was telling us before the game, Portage is a smaller team, no one bigger than 6'3". They really want to try and put pressure from the outside in, trying to get pressure on that interior and getting their guards running in transition to take away that size advantage that Morton's going to have over them.
Yeah, Portage has always been known as a tough, tenacious type defensive team. Constant pressure. Once they don't have the basketball, they are going to press. They are going to trap. And that's what Coach Klaus said, is that we will spring as many traps as we can at the guards to keep those guys out of the paint. And so far, that's really worked for Portage. But again, as you said, it's going to be a really tough assignment for them, considering just how much taller the Governors are than the Indians.
And it's going to be a good mix, though, because him really talking about what Coach Klaus told us, it's a mixture of, you have the smaller team, so you want to not, run directly into their size, so to speak. But at the same time, he didn't want this team to force up three-pointers like he said they have been the last few games. So it's going to be definitely a mix of trying to put some foul pressure onto those bigs of Hinton, of Morton, maybe try and get him in foul trouble. And then once you get that size and that 2.5 blocks per game out of the game, they could have a lot more success, getting to the basket, forcing those turnovers with the traps and with the press, and playing that Portage brand of basketball.
We were going to step aside for a quick break. We'll be back as you're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you heard? Stratton-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton-Manteau.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
The Game Night forecast is brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Tonight's forecast, it is a gorgeous 53 degrees, feels like 46, but in this part of the country, 46 feels like the new 70. That's the Friday night forecast brought to you by Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter.
Don't you just love the bipolar weather here in Northwest Indiana? You get a 63 temperature high today in Portage, and then tomorrow I think it's going to be like a low of like 24, something like that, or like 30 is going to be the high in like 2 days from now. You can't get a chance to change anything.
It plays into that old saying in Northwest Indiana, is if you don't like the weather, go inside for a few hours and come back out, you have a different season. And I got to be honest, I was wearing my jacket, went out to the car, realized I didn't need it, took it off, and left it in the car for the rest of the day. Didn't realize how gorgeous it was going to be, but spring's right around the corner, which means basketball season is coming to a close. And, Zach, this might be one of the most exciting basketball seasons we've had in the region in recent memory.
We've had some fun teams. I mean, just looking at the Dune and, between trio of Crown Point, Chesterton, and Portage, 3 teams that we've been able to cover a lot this season, Andrew. It has been a lot of wins and a lot of big-time performances from some key players on those teams. It has been, like you said, an incredible experience this year to be able to watch those teams, not just those 3 teams, but all the teams we've been able to watch here on the Region Sports Network.
Now, looking at these 2 teams, Zach, what do you want to see from Portage, and then what do you want to see from Morton with these 2 teams playing their regular season finale tonight?
Well, just as a whole for both to start, I want to see incredible. I just want to see 110% effort, like you said, to start the broadcast. I want to see high effort. Just because you're at the end of the year, you still have everything to play for to get yourself going into that sectional. For Morton in particular, I want to see them try and handle the ball. Everyone gets that press that gets trapped from Portage. If I'm Morton, I want to see them handle that pressure well. I want to see them make the correct passes, short the passes up a little bit, try and break that press and not turn the ball over so much and get down early like so many teams have this year against Portage. Now for Portage themselves, like we said earlier, I want to see them try and get Hinton and their other bigs for Morton into foul trouble. That way, because that's who you got to worry about if you're Portage. And then if you're able to get him out of the game, start attacking the basket the way they want. And then once you start getting things going on the inside, that's when those defenders start creasing down and you get those open shots at the three-point line.
This Portage Indians team, if you're just joining us, is missing Carter Kobe, a player that's averaging 21 points. He had a buzzer beater earlier this year to beat Maryville, and they're looking for different players to step up and fill that void. Hopefully that they'll see Kobe, number 1, back on the floor for their sectional game on Tuesday when they play against Chesterton. But, Zach, if they don't have Carter Kobe going into that game, do you still feel confident that Portage could make a good run and find themselves in a sectional championship game? Because for me, looking at the sectional 2 teams, Chesterton is a clear-cut favorite. They went undefeated against all the teams within that sectional.
I can't count on a team that has coach. 1, Brian Klaus is their head coach.
Yes.
And then 2, it's not like they're carried so hard from Carter Kobe. There's a lot of players, just to name a few. Emilio Cameron, Mikey Rivera, Josiah Brown, and then his brother Bryce Kobe. Those are players that are starters that they have to sacrifice, like all players do for a great team like Portage. They're having to sacrifice their roles and their scoring to accommodate for Carter. So I would say now when one goes down, that just means the workload for the others goes up. And I like to think the supporting cast for Portage is more than capable to pick up that role. So to answer your question, yes, I still think they can make a run for a sectional championship.
And this Indians team, and I don't think people realize just how good they are at crunch time basketball. There was some really good games they played during the stretch of their 16 straight wins. Of course, we just talked about their buzzer beater against Maryville. But to really tell you how tough and resilient they are, that game against Valparaiso, where they were down somewhere around 9 points going into the final 3 minutes of the game, and they were hitting some clutch shots. They were getting Vikings in foul trouble. They hit some big free throws, and it was a tip-in by Emilio Cameron that won the game. So you're talking about that supporting cast, but those guys don't really shy away, and that's really the brand of Brian Klaus basketball. Play like a union, play like good defense, and let's hit some shots from downtown.
And shine in the big moments. It's going to be a very exciting game here. We saw Morton still up to the final 20 seconds here before the game, running suicides at half court. They are ready to go here in Renee Turpa Gymnasium. It's going to be a fun one.
It's senior night, but none of the players on the Portage team are seniors. They're honoring the dancers and the cheerleaders here at Portage High School at their newly named Renee Turpa Gymnasium. We will step aside for the national anthem. When we come back, starting lineups and the opening tip from Portage High School. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you heard? Stratton-Van-Til was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton-Van-Til.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
Located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, the newly renovated Hampton Inn is within walking distance to over 30 restaurants and attractions, including Lucas Oilfield and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a fitness center. Why wait? Make your reservations today. Call 317-261-1200 or make them on the web at hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
Have you heard? Stratford Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratford Manteau.
Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports by supporting and following us on social media. We're always active on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X, and online at regionsports.com, celebrating over 25 years. We're proud to still be the only game in town. Andrew Mild with Zach Miller as we get the starting lineup of the Hammond Morton Governors. And it looks like this. It's Jaquan Brown. And, of course, the lights have went off. I can't see my paper. But I got Brown, Dashir Broadnax, Joshua Hinton, Jaden Stockdale, and Aaron Gibson. And I got to say, Zach, a player that we didn't really talk about in the pregame show is Aaron Gibson, who's averaging 9.5 points, and he's one of those big men that you were talking about.
Yeah, they have him listed 6'2", 240 pounds there. You know, kind of a bit of a contrast between as your front court. You have Hinton, 6'7", 180, Gibson, 6'2", 240. That's two different body types, but both equally effective here for the Governors.
Now the starting lineup for the Portage Indians, it will be Mikey Rivera Emilio Cameron, Dennis Moran III, Josiah Brown, and Bryce Kobe. And it's certainly been a unit this year, Zach, this starting lineup for Portage, even despite Carter Kobe going out with an injury.
They all contribute, man. They all, whether it's from the three-point line, getting to the basket, defensively making plays, they all are contributing for this Indians team, especially now in the absence of Carter Kobe.
Portage Indians coming in at 18-4. They went 4-3 in DAC play. The Governors on the other side, 4-18, 0-3 in their conference play. Portage won their first sectional championship in over 20 years last year when they won it on the floor of Valparaiso High School. As we get ready for the opening jump, Bryce Kobe against Joshua Hinton. About 4-inch advantage for Hinton.
A little bit of a size difference.
Get the opening whistle. Get basketball here on the Region Sports Network. The tip is won by Portage.
Size doesn't matter.
Brown will run the offense. Governors picking him up at half court.
Starting in a 2-3 here for the Governors.
They find the inside of that zone, turn around and toss it in. Dennis Moran III.
Way to address it there for the Indians. Instantly find a way in the middle of that zone, free throw line, get him for the floater.
Moran coming off a season high of 29 points against Phelan Leadership Academy in the 88-67 victory for Portage. They gave him 2 in a row after losing 4 in a row against some really good teams.
I was interested to see here, Andrew, how they're going to start to guard the size down low of Hinton. They have Emilio Cameron on him, and Hinton's already at the mid-post looking for the ball.
This is a deep three that is short. They talk about Emilio Cameron. Whenever they have someone in the post, they stick him on him because he has so much tenacity. A couple of good passes, sets up Moran in the post. He missed his shot. Looked like he got blocked by Hinton, who averages 2.5 blocks. 3-point ball spits itself out. Tough luck for Josiah Brown.
Everything but the make there going on at every part of the rim.
Morton had to settle for a deep three on their last possession. Their offense has sputtered at times this year, just averaging under 35 points.
Your Coach Walker, you definitely want to get a better look than the outside shot.
They get it into the post, and Hinton lost it. Went for the old up and under, but didn't have the ball. Kobe turns around, shoots it in the mid-range, and it's a splash for Bryce Kobe.
Once again, great job here by Portage finding the opening in that 2-3 right at the free throw line.
Those Kobe brothers are known for their silky, smooth stroke.
Yes, both of them. Just bounces on the rim softly.
Smith, top of the key, sends it over the Brown. Post, double team coming. Ball was tipped back in the lap of Smith. Brown, straightaway triple, and he gets it to go. Morton is on the board, making it a 1-point game.
Little pump fake and goes in.
Kobe with the baseball-type pass, and Josiah Brown rises up from the elbow and buries it.
Coach Walker not happy with his defense up to this point, allowing a similar type of shot all three makes for the Indians. They're going to have to make an adjustment there in that zone.
Last 2 possessions have ended up with shots like that for Portage. And that's where you want to attack when you're facing a zone that Morton is running at them. Going downhill, shot tossed up, bodies colliding, no call. Portage will get the ball down low.
There they go, bringing Gibson in for Hinton. Bit of a different look there from the big man. Like we said, Hinton being 6'7", 180, Gibson 6'2", 240. Both big, just in different ways.
It looks like Morton is now implementing a man-to-man coverage against the Indians now. So getting away from that zone after Portage was able to exploit the middle. A screen sets up Moran down low, and another great find from Bryce Kobe. He's facilitating a little bit.
Doing a little bit of everything here for the Indians offense. Great back cut there as well from Moran.
Kobe averages 3 assists on the year. He already has 2. Step back, long mid-range shot, and it's missed by Jaquan Brown.
He shoots with confidence.
Morton was able to secure the offensive rebound and keep this possession alive. Brown in the post, Back up top, Smith from downtown. Struck iron.
I like the look, though. Draw a little bit of pressure from the mid-post look from Brown. Get an open shot from the outside.
The passing has been crisp for Portage thus far. Brown, head fake, penetrates, picks up his dribble. Mikey Rivera, the point guard, sends it right back to Dennis Moran III. They already scored 4 points. Rivera going to his bag. And once again, it's a screen setting up Dennis Moran. He's wide open. No communication from the Governors.
Yes, Marty Smith there from Morton just lost assignment there. Moran cutting to the hoop again.
A 6-0 run for the Indians leads to a Darnell Walker timeout. It's a full timeout, so we'll take a 30-second break as you're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
You're watching Indiana High School boys basketball on the Region Sports Network. Andrew Mild. Joining me tonight is Zach Miller, just coming out of a full timeout called by the Hammond-Morton Governors, who are on the wrong side of a 6-0 run. And Zach, it's been some really easy looks for Portage down low.
It's just been a few defensive lapses here. They started off in that 2-3 zone, and they allowed them to get to the middle of the floor right around that free throw line for a couple easy baskets. Then Morton makes they make an adjustment. They go to a man-to-man look, but then they allow a couple backdoor screens with back cuts there to Moran. So just got to clean up a little bit of the defensive lapses and then see if they can still get back on this. It's early.
That's what Darnell Walker, the head coach of these Governors, said is a commitment to defense, and haven't seen it thus far. Morton, only points came from a 3. They come out of the break. Gibson post, left hand, and he kisses it off the glass. Ends that 6-0 scoring run for the Indians.
Nice little drop step. Had a guy wide open, Kobe under the basket.
Kobe was all by himself, hands up in the air. I even saw him from up here.
I mean, if we're being honest, he could have got a 3-second call for how long he was sitting. He was about 4 seconds under the rim waiting for the ball.
Walker, the coach, upset because the best scorer on the team right now without Carter Kobe was unattended.
Hey, they haven't scored yet. Win for the Governors.
Kobe thought about it, whips it to Mikey Rivera on the left wing. 10-5 the score, under 3 minutes. Rivera takes his man off the dribble. Good help defense, deters the shot. And an offensive rebound, and an effort by Brown to rip it away. Morton with a good defensive stand there. Back to Gibson. Gibson nearly triple team, and he is just wrestling for the ball, and they're going to call a jump ball. It will belong to the Governors. He'll stay on this side.
Let me tell you, I think if you're a Portage defender, I do not think you want to get in the post defending him. That is a lot to move around. When he gets that ball, he is making a move or two. He's wanting to get to the basket.
You can't imagine trying to get him off his spot.
Yeah, not going to happen.
And the turnover is Brown threw right to Josiah Brown, who's wearing the white jersey instead of a red. Kobe, corner 3, buried.
Way to draw the pressure from the corner, kick it out to your shooter.
Nothing like that. Corner 3. Bryce Kobe, no hesitation. 8-point lead now for the Indians. 2 minutes to go. Broadnax leads the team with 12 points per game, but he's been awfully quiet in this first quarter. Smith, Gibson, back out to Smith, in and out games. Sets up a 3-point ball that's missed, and over the back as Jaquan Brown scaled the back of Josiah Brown, and it will belong to Portage.
Yeah, Portage, that's just what their defensive scheme, Andrew. They're going to let you get that outside shot, and they're just going to force pressure, particularly with their point of attack defender there in Rivera. He does as good a job as anybody I've seen in the region in forcing turnovers at the point guard position.
A relatively clean first quarter in terms of fouls. That was just the first foul, and it comes with 7 minutes in. Straightaway 3 hits back iron. Eamon Morton catches a break. Jaquan Brown just got called for the foul, sporting the hot pink shoes in the regular season finale. It's Gibson with the bump in the bucket. He'll go to the line for an old-fashioned three-point play.
I'm liking the way that Gibson is playing like an old-school big down there. Power dribble, takes the contact, and one with the left hand.
Hard to get around him.
That's when they've been the most effective. Taking a look at the replay here, they kick it in, one dribble inside, takes the contact from Kobe on his back shoulder, getting the bucket. That's when their best offenses come, when they've gone inside, Andrew.
The foul is on Bryce Kobe as Gibson makes the free throw. Cuts it down to a 5-point game. The Governors are hanging in there with Portage. Rivera swings it over. Back to Rivera. P.J. Brown has come in for the Indians. They give it to P.J. Brown on the block. He rises up and he scores.
You just can't let them get that look inside. They did a little better job defending the back cut by staying on them a little bit, but you just got to prevent the pass from getting in there inside. That's almost a guaranteed make.
And that's what Coach Klaus talked about. Gibson, corner 3, and he misses. Offensive rebound, a rise up, too much on it, and the Indians make sure that there isn't a third look for the Governors, as Javon Rumpf was doing the work for Morton. Rivera, floater, misses, and Brown had the rebound for a moment but then lost it. No look pass. 3 from Broadnax, off to the right. Not sure if I like that shot, Zach.
No, and it was a few feet out from the three-point line at that. Yeah, just take a little more time in the offense. Get a better look. You've had success going inside. Do a little bit more of that until they force you to do something else.
Corner 3. Moran can't get it. And the buzzer will sound, and the first quarter comes to a close. A 15-8 lead for the hometown Indians. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Old Man Winter is just around the corner, and that means temperatures will soon begin to drop. And a region winter is not the time to be left out in the cold. The professionals at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling can tune up that old furnace or install a new unit that can last for years. Your family deserves to stay comfortable this winter, and with 24/7 emergency service, comfort is just a phone call away. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, 219-923-4441. Or for more info, the website is forajobdoneright.com.
Andrew Mild with Zach Miller on the Region Sports Network. Thank you for joining us on this gorgeous Friday evening. And Zach, going into the second quarter, what was your impressions of the first quarter?
Well, I thought that Portage was doing a nice job getting open looks on their offense. They were making very good reads on what the defense was giving them, whether it was that zone where they were able to get to the middle of the defense, and when Morton switched to their own man-to-man defense, they were able to get screens on the backside with cuts down to the rim. So I want to see a little bit more of that if I'm Portage, and then Morton just clean up the defensive lapses.
Coach Klaus for Portage talked about he wanted to see his team score more in the paint than what he's seen recently. He felt they were shooting way too many contested three-pointers. But they scored a lot of those points in the paint in that first quarter out of the 15. Moran, post, and it gets ripped away. Good defense by Jaquan Brown. A fine down low, misses the left-handed layup, has only got glass. And As the ball rolls out of bounds, two referees agree that Morton will get another look.
I want to say on the other side of the court, though, if you can have your big Aaron Gibson be able to defend on the perimeter like that and move his feet, that's very impressive for a kid his size.
Gibson immediately came off the bench for Hinton. Brown, three, and he gets nothing but net. Jaquan Brown making the nice defensive play and now hitting the three, and all of a sudden it's a 4-point game in the second quarter.
Find the open man, make the open shot. You start making looks from inside the three-point line. You start getting people closing out on you and getting open looks from the outside.
Portage trying to respond here. As their offense was getting some easy looks early, but Morton has seemed to have made the adjustments. Handoff, Moran. Moran from inside the three-point line, and he swishes it.
Tough pull-up. Good defense there from Brown. Just gets elevation on that jumper.
You've seen Emilio Cameron come into the game for Portage.
Morton here, they're just figuring out what play they want to run here.
Directing traffic. They hit a three in their first possession of the second quarter. Gibson not on the block. He's very much far away from the block. They're set for another three, and Jaquan Brown with two triples in the second quarter.
He is feeling himself. That was a bit of a heat check look there.
Brown steps in, and Brown with money from the mid-range.
That middle of the court mid-range shot has been on fire for the Indians to start here.
Feels like that 90s brand of basketball when Jordan was still playing. Rivera, steal, and Rivera will take it himself.
That is just cliche Mikey Rivera, Portage Indian basketball. Force the turnover there by the half-court line, get points in transition.
Rivera averaging 3 steals per game. Gibson, wild shot. Portage will gladly take that.
Forced him to his left hand there and made him get a shot that he didn't want to take.
No body control, just sort of a wild shot after just one pass. What a take by Dennis Moran III.
Strong move with the gather, took the contact, was able to roll it in.
Moran averaging 18 points in his last 6 games. He's really turned into that third scoring option for Portage behind the Kobe brothers.
He's got a smooth game too, you know, he's fun to watch. He's able to get it done on all 3 levels.
He's a junior. And that's the thing about this Portage team. A lot of these players are returning next year. A foul and one. Elijah Etienne Newsom comes in and makes a highlight play.
Etienne Newsom, that was just a nice look, was able to cut to the backside to the ball, had like a one-handed floater hook shot there, took the contact, getting pushed down.
He almost expected the contact, the way he got rid of it so quickly. That will be a foul on Josiah Brown.
Kept his left arm down to brace for the contact, went up for the one. That takes a lot of body control and a lot of hand-eye coordination to pull that off. Very impressive play.
Etienne Newsom scored 6 points against 21st Century. This is his first time all season getting to the free throw line, and he can convert it. That'll make him 0 for 1. 7-point game. Kobe's come back in for the Indians. And they feed him in the block. He got a couple of men up, and Kobe, as he hits the ground, gets the friendly roll. And what a play by Bryce Kobe, the sophomore.
He cut up to the rim after running off a floppy screen there. Was able to get the follow with the rebound.
And there was 3 governors around him, and he somehow powered through all 3 of them.
That's something that both the Kobe brothers do really well. Frankly, this Portage Indians offense, they really do a good job moving off the ball.
They just called a moving screen on Etienne Newsom. Basketball is such a humbling game, Zach. Last possession, you get an and one play. Next possession, you're getting called for a moving screen and a turnover and a foul at the same time.
Well, that's why, you got to take the highs. You got to keep level because you know what? The highs are going to be high, the lows are going to be low. If you stay in that little middle ground, mentally you're going to be all good. Because I can speak for myself. When you keep riding the wave like that, you can get a lot of places wrong. It's like my golf game.
I only have downs in that part of my game.
Yeah, my ups are bogeys. Hey,
my
wins
ups
are wins.
if I hit the ball straight. Take the small wins. P.J. Brown, high post, Kobe, head fake, and a steal. Jaquan Brown having an impressive second quarter, and then he just outright lost it. He was about to go into the chest of Josiah Brown, but he lost the ball. It hit off his chest and rolled out of bounds.
Great play by Josiah Brown there, though, to get in position to force the turnover. You know, he didn't get the steal. He didn't reach his hand out. But just by getting there and putting an effort to go in between him and the rim, he forced a turnover there because Brown had to reconsider his shot.
Jaquan Brown now with a couple of steals in the second quarter to go with a couple of threes. Right now it's a 9-point lead for Portage. Good crowd on hand for the Indians on their senior night, especially their student section, who's had a lot to cheer about this year. P.J. Brown throws it into the post where there's two Indians there. Rivera, three-pointer, and it's a splash.
Rivera shooting probably about 33% from the three-point line coming into this game. He's usually not shooting one from outside. He's usually initiating the offense. But when he gets that look, he looks confident.
Rivera fouls Smith. But that in-and-out game has become really strong for Portage. They started off going down low early, and Hammond Morton has had to respect that, and that has sprung some players loose around the perimeter.
Because it makes it so much harder to defend, Andrew, when you don't know where it's going to go. If you can just focus on guys on the inside, you send them there, or vice versa for the outside. When you're scoring from all three levels, really, like Portage has been able to do, you can't really guard anywhere.
Etienne Newsome finds a man wide open, and that three-pointer is off to the left. That was Jaden Stockdale. Kobe got the rebound, pushed the tempo, but Morton got back. Going to force Portage to play from their set offense. Rivera, no-look pass into the corner. Corner three. Dennis Moran the third with a trifecta.
Rivera's quick first step forced that bucket, though, man. He blew by his defender there.
And I'm not sure why the referees blew their whistle and stopped play. Maybe a warning to the Governors. That was a bit odd. But Mikey Rivera hit a three in the last possession. No-look pass, finding Dennis Moran the third. That's really speaking onto the chemistry that this Portage team has been able to develop. This team has primarily played together in AAU since the third grade.
When you have that chemistry built up over years upon years, you don't even have to tell someone what to do. You already know where they're going to be and what they're going to do and what you need to do.
And Moran third just sat in the corner, and Rivera was able to find him, and it led to a big three, and that will be the second offensive foul on the Governors. This one on Javon Rumpf.
Yeah, I was just trying to set a backdoor screen there, trying to get someone rolling out to the three-point line. Was just kept the hips moving there. You got to keep still there and not get the moving screen.
I appreciate the dedication to setting screens and getting guys open. And they just called a travel on Mikey Rivera with no one around him. And Mikey Rivera can't believe it. And Brian Klaus, he wants an explanation. It just feel like we've been hit with an odd wave recently, Zach.
Just interesting calls.
And another travel. This one was a little bit more forced than Mikey Rivera's travel.
I don't think we're going to have as many furrowed eyebrows to that one. I think we all saw that one pretty clearly. The whistle bug has hit us here, though.
Yeah, right after that three from Moran, it was almost like a delay of game warning was issued to the Governors, and then a couple of travels from either side. Moran going to Rivera in the corner, a bit of a high pass, set it back up, top of the key, Cameron to Rivera, uncle and nephew. Rivera, head fake, gets into the lane, and he is hit. He'll go to the line for two.
Javon Rump there with the foul. I almost saw because I saw Hinton was coming over there. He's been sitting for much of this game to start. Coach Walker took him out for Gibson. Even though he's in the game now, you don't want to get him in foul trouble.
That was the last foul to give for the Governors in this second quarter. With a minute 27, it shouldn't affect the Governors too much. Quick substitution. Brown coming in for P.J. Brown. Emilio Cameron from Kansas City, Missouri, transferred over to Portage, and then him and Mikey Rivera, uncle and nephew, went to Brother Rice, and then came back to Portage this season. Both free throws missed by Mikey Rivera. Hinton the rebound. Governors trying to catch fire before this first half comes to a close. Post, Hinton. Hinton's pass is intercepted by Mikey Rivera. Read that perfectly. Bit of a size disadvantage here. Hinton guarding Rivera at the top of the key. Rivera gets himself open from downtown, and Mikey Rivera with a three.
That's a matchup you got to take advantage of. They've done that a few times here where they've switched on defense, the Governors. They've had their big on to Rivera. And if you have that size mismatch, you got to take advantage from the outside or to force a foul on the inside with speed.
Under a minute to go. Hinton's shot is off the mark. Rivera not picked up till he got into the mid-range. He tosses it up with the left hand. Putback attempt rolls off. The Governors end up with it. Numbers game, 3-on-1. The take, and a charge is called. As Javon Rumpf has now committed a couple of fouls.
That's a Josiah Brown special here this year. He gets puts his body on the line for those charge calls as much as anybody. Another great job. He did one earlier in this game, and he does it again here.
Well, it was even Brown earlier that got onto the block and went to set up for a charge from Jaquan Brown of the Governors, and because of that, Brown had to hesitate, and then he lost the ball.
That's what it takes, man. Like we said, you don't get to 18-4 without plays like that. Not everyone's going to score 20 points a game. It's filling in on the edges. And Josiah does that as well as anyone.
You need some of those players that are going to get down and dirty and physical. Moran, the take, misses the shot, and Cameron corrals the loose rebound and is hit going up for the second chance look.
Emilio Cameron, he's 6'3", but he plays bigger than that with how he carries himself inside that post there. Like I was going to say a few possessions ago, Hinton trying to post up there, even though he's given up 4 inches in height, he prevents him from getting the ball where he wants in his spot, a few feet shorter than that. And it's all it takes there because it prevents him from getting the look that he wants and to force up a shot.
And Emilio Cameron was the hero in that comeback win here on this floor against Valparaiso, his game-winning tip-in after the miss from Bryce Kobe. Cameron missed the first free throw, gets the second one to go. This is looking like the final shot of the first half as there's a bump. Moran put his arm out and caught Desir Broadnax. And luckily for Portage, that was just their third foul. So Morton will have to inbound it. 3 seconds. Broadnax from half court, and it's a line drive off the backboard. The first half comes to a close, and the Indians have a sizable lead of 19. We have a Commissioner's Corner for you, and then we'll be right back here while me and Zach will break down the first half, get you set for the second. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports, here's Commissioner Paul Neidig.
Hey, welcome into the Commissioner's Corner. It's our weekly conversation with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. I'm Brendan King. Paul, I feel like we say it every week, busy time of year because it is a busy time of year. And, of course, the wrestling mats are being traded out for the hardwood again at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. You just got wrapped up with the boys wrestling state finals at Gamebridge. Girls basketball comes up this weekend along with the boys swimming and diving state finals. So lots to talk about. Let's start with what we just got done with. and that was boys wrestling. How'd things go in downtown Indy last weekend?
Well, I thought everything went great. It's I call the wrestling tournament, and like others, but it's we have longtime fans that make a pilgrimage to Indianapolis to Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and they camp out for the weekend because it's 2 full days of wrestling, starting with last Friday with the knockout round, and then we go into the Saturday wrestling. But it's a great event. And the best wrestlers in the state of Indiana are I would say as good as anybody can be. They're contributing on a national stage. I know we talk about that a lot, but there's a kid in that grouping that's signed with Penn State, and there's multiple wrestlers that are going to wrestle at Purdue and IU and Indiana, and these kids are.
Welcome back to the Region Sports Network. It is halftime from the Renee Turpa Gymnasium. Andrew Mild with Zach Miller. The Indians in the regular season finale lead by 19. And Zach, that Portage team was really clicking in all cylinders. I think for Brian Klaus, understanding that they have a sectional game next Tuesday against a team they lost to, it was really nice to see everyone really contribute. No one player dominated that first half.
I'd say the word of that first half for both sides was execution.
Yes.
One side executed incredibly well, the other team not so much. Portage, like you said, everybody contributed on the side for both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? We're talking to Josiah Brown between his charges. Mikey Rivera adding in some outside shots and drawing some fouls, but especially leading that trap and forcing turnovers. Bryce Colby getting inside, doing some scoring looks, getting some offensive rebounds. Same thing with Emilio Cameron. Everybody contributing for the Indians, and that's what it takes when you're going and you're looking ahead here past this game for sectional basketball. It's not going to take one effort to get you a victory. It's going to take multiple efforts, frankly, a whole starting lineup, and that's what they've done here thus far.
Yeah, going to the other side for the Morton Governors, there was a few plays that you and I watched and said, you know what, they're staying with them. They look pretty good. But then it was after that, they would shoot themselves in the foot in some sort of mistake. But if they can play some complete basketball in the second half, they may not be able to get the win, but who knows what they can do against Lake Central if they play a full 32 minutes of good basketball.
Get momentum for that next game. You're going to play it, so you might as well get yourself some momentum and get some good plays here in the second half. Like you said, and Coach Walker told us before the game, it's not a talent issue, and it's not that high-level issue here for Morton. It's getting those plays consistently. We've seen it here in this first half. They only have 16 points, but let me tell you, those 16 points look good. There's some good shots, open looks, inside, outside, good passes, getting out in transition. They're able to get the plays. They know what they're doing. It's just getting those plays and stringing them together consistently.
Yes.
And that's what it takes to compete. They have what it takes. They just got to get it going. They got to keep the focus. We saw a few defensive lapses there, where if they're just able to have that focus going for a quarter, for a few possessions, and then keep building on that, then you're going to see a lot better performance from them, maybe here in the second half.
Don't forget, at the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Crown Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crown Companies, proud to recognize the superheroes on the basketball court. Zach, do you have an early candidate for this award?
Well, I'll tell you what I was looking at. It's hard to say, but I'd say like Moran. I like the play he had. It's hard, though, because it's just different guys in different areas of the game. Like we said, I really like Moran in his three-level scoring thus far. I like Rivera forcing the help from the outside for the Governors.
They find the inside of that zone, turn around, and toss it in. Dennis Moran, the third.
Offensively. And then I'd say someone like Emilio Cameron with his offensive rebounding and his defense against the bigs of Morton. I mean, I think it's still up for debate here going into the second half. I don't think we have a clear-cut favorite for our Lantern Man Superhero game just yet.
Yes. Our producer, Justin Cole, is going to pull up one of these highlight plays that we saw from the Indians in that first half.
Yep, you see them getting inside there with the bucket. We have here we have Bryce Kobe there. Once this was early in the game where they were getting a few looks, Morton opened up in their 2-3 zone, and Portage really took advantage of it by getting some open looks by the mid-range area. Here, Jaquan Brown started off a little hot there in the first quarter, getting an outside shot there to go.
Yeah, I was really impressed with some of the plays that we saw from Jaquan Brown, who would be my candidate for the Boilermakers Local 374 blue-collar player of the game. Earn while you learn with Boilermaker Local 374. To start off that second quarter, he had a couple of steals and a couple of trifectas.
Yes, he made his impact felt on the team when they were needing some offense, when they had those spurts where they weren't getting they were getting poor shots or they weren't able to get shots up because of turnovers. You know, they got him the ball and he was able to make plays. And he was able to make those shots from the outside. When, like you said, force some turnovers and get out in transition. You know, that's what it takes. It takes the guys going on a run, you know. Sometimes that's what it is in basketball. Basketball is a game of runs, and that can happen from one guy sometimes. Where you can just you see one go in, and then you feel like they're all going to go in. And next thing you know, the guy's got 12 points of the next 15, you know. And Brown, he had a good run there in that first half.
And then finally, it's the Proud to Be Union play of the game. That is sponsored by Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a union iron worker, visit ironworkers395.com. Zach, I don't know if I have a clear-cut favorite with us having 16 minutes to go in the second half, but I would say that your first half Proud to Be Union play of the game was the no-look pass from Rivera to Moran in the corner for three.
Yes, that was a great one. Just looked off the defender, got it open to the corner. Wide open shot, went in. But I got to tell you what, to give you the Zach Miller play of the first half, though, as the former 5'11 JV big man, I got to tell you, Aaron Gibson had a great little drop step to the left hand when his first touch of the game that I loved. I know they're down 19, but I got to tell you, Andrew, that warmed my heart as the 5'11 JV big man. I mean, that was just great to see. So shout out Aaron Gibson, making the post alive in 2026, man. Who needs to shoot threes?
Yeah, you had said it during the halftime break. Does Darnell Walker, the head coach of the Governors, consider putting Joshua Hinton and Aaron Gibson out there together to sort of create some havoc down low? Because the only man that's been creating some problems for the Governors in the paint was Emilio Cameron.
Yes. And I'd say especially, you know, the people who have caused an impact, if we want to look at the three most impactful players thus far for Morton, even in limited minutes, I would say it'd be Gibson, Brown, and Hinton defensively. Even in the few minutes he played, especially toward the end of the first half there, he forced a couple bad looks and forced up some bad shots from Portage just with his length at the hoop. So I'd say if you want to get your best players on the court at the same time, I'd try and put Gibson and Hinton in there to kind of have a supersized lineup of sorts where you could run Gibson and Hinton on both blocks and really force some decisions and some matchups for the Portage defense that they really haven't been used to seeing, because there's been kids at size they've played against, but maybe they haven't really played against someone who they're so dedicated to getting the ball inside to those two bigs, which each time, by the way, Andrew, they get past the three-point line, they're turning around with their hand to the sky looking for the ball. So if you have two of them down there, you know, just give them a different look. Why not?
Don't forget, looking ahead, both these teams are playing in sectionals on Tuesday, and the Regent Sports Network will be there. They will be the Portage Indians taking on the Chesterton Trojans. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. And for the Morton Governors, they will face off against Lake Central. That game is slated for 6 o'clock at Crown Point High School. Zach, do you have any candidates for a team that could make a run to Indianapolis and create some noise? I know you were just down in Indy watching Wrestling State, in which the region walked away with 6 state championships this year.
Yes, we did. We had a lot of success already for these winter state championships. We had 5 boys from the region make it, but 6 overall from our East Chicago semi-state, including New Prairie, So I think we can continue the success a little bit. I'd say my sleeper pick, I like how 21st Century looks.
Yes.
At the lower level. I really think they had a very big win against Crown Point. I think they're getting healthy and they're getting hot at the right time of the year as you get closer to the tournament. So I like them, and I really think, talk about not a sleeper pick right on the nose. I think Crown Point, Is that a shocker? Are you surprised for me to say that? I think Crown Point, they've been close the past couple of years, man, and now they're getting up there with their seniors. They've been experienced. They've tasted defeat the last couple of years, the Fishers. I think this could be the year they get over the hump.
Yeah, talk about a powerhouse in athletics Crown Point has become this last 5 years or so between their football team, their women's basketball team made it to semi-state. They were a couple wins away from going down to Indianapolis, and the boys team, number 2 in the state at the current moment, behind that Fishers team that's still undefeated. As we get ready for the second half, the Portage Indians and the Hammond Morton Governors, the Indians lead by 19. Governors will start with the ball, immediately feeding Hinton. Hinton rises with a baby hook, and that's a very unfriendly roll. Hit the iron 3 times and rolled off. Rivera gets the screen. Gets it to Cameron. Kobe, corner, three-pointer on its way from Brown, and it rolls off the iron. And it says that it hit the very top of the basket, out of bounds. Even though the shot didn't go down, I would still say the ball movement looked very crisp in that possession for Portage, and that wasn't a settled 3. That's what the play was designed to open up.
And that's what you want to see on the first possession coming into the second half where a game you're up 19.
Hinton in the post. This time he converts.
Keeps going over that right shoulder with that right hand. That's the look he wants.
Setting up on that right block. No one can really contest that height. Another three-pointer for Portage, and they've started off 0 for 2 from downtown. Cameron open down low. Double team coming. Rivera thought about it. Now he'll dribble it out and reset the offense for the Indians. Directing traffic. He's standing on the Portage logo in the middle of the floor. Cameron on the right ring. Shake and bake. Moran down the lane. Moran's hit, and Moran will go to the line for 2.
Nice drive there by Moran. If you're Hinton for Morton, you got to rotate a little bit earlier. He was caught a little bit in no man's land there. He picked up the foul, got him on the hand. But you know what? You have that size. He's listed at 6'7". I don't even want to know what his wingspan is. He's got some long arms. But he got over there a little bit late, to where it's in the point. He's like, am I going to stay on my man or am I going to go get into the lane and help? He was caught in no man's land, helped a little too slow to where he didn't stop him at the rim, but stopped enough to get a foul.
Yeah, Hinton might be taller, but you gave a lot of credit for Aaron Gibson. Even though he's a big man, he moves pretty well. And defensively, he was able to rotate because of his agility. And that's what caused some early problems for the Governors, was that Portage was scoring down low with ease because there was no rotation. That's why Hinton went off the floor pretty quickly.
He's been able to play a bit better. He's been able to stay on the floor this second half, though, and toward the end of the first half.
Hinton on the block. Now he's 1 for 3. Pulls down his offensive rebound, and the whistle sounds. Hinton going to the line.
They're looking for him every time they get down the court. He's going onto that block, and they're feeding it to him. And he did a good job there on that second part, getting his own rebound, but keeping that ball high to not let those defenders. He's taller than all of them. Just keep the ball high. Put it where the kids can't get it.
And Portage has to be prepared for a big man like this. They're going to run into Pasilla from Chesterton. He's around the same height. He plays a lot of the same way, but he is very athletic for his size.
Yes, you got him. Shaw even, of course he's a different animal, but he's 6'6" himself. So they're going to play some size, and they've played some size, especially in these last 6 games here where they've dropped 4. Even with Kobe out, they've had to face that a bit of a gauntlet here in the Dune and with some bigger teams. But think of another one we talked about winning on the game winner. They played quite well against Valpo.
Yes.
And they've got as much size as anyone, really.
Yeah, they have 2 6'8"ers. You had McConaughey at 6'9" and Maddox Wagner at 6'8". Kobe with a great pass as Cameron was left unattended, and that's an easy 2 points for the junior transfer.
And that play really exemplifies
Brown had too much on that three, and Mikey Rivera with the loose ball foul, pushing Broadnax out of the way.
As I was going to say, but they're as used to anyone. They've had so much success really the last 2 years, especially this year, where they're always the smaller team. They focus so much on their agility and trapping, getting out in transition and getting the smart shots.
Hinton brings down the inbounds pass, couple dribbles, and he finishes at the cup.
This is what you want to see. You want to get him involved, one of your better players. Another one you want to...
Rivera down the lane, and Rivera with the finger roll. Back to a 20-point game.
I want to see him get Broadnax to have the ball there. I want to see them get him involved. He's their leading scorer coming into the game. I want to see him get some shots.
Yeah, he didn't have too many attempts as they skip past it to the other side. Broadnax with a rainbow three.
Ask and you shall receive, Andrew. I mean, whoa.
Timeout from Brian Klaus.
Didn't know Steph Curry played for the Governors.
I've never seen a tougher corner three in my broadcasting career, as Broadnax had his heels hovering over out of bounds and rainbowed it in. Check this out again on the On-Site Generator Solutions replay.
Cross-court pass. Doesn't pick it up there on the replay, but like you said, picked up 1 foot fading away in the corner. Just nothing but nylon. What a shot. Right as we say, we need to get him more involved. It's like they were listening to us up here, threw it across the court. He's like, all right, if you want me to shoot, I'll shoot.
Zach, have you ever considered coaching basketball? Maybe that's your calling. Is that the universe saying that Zach Miller needs to pick up a whistle and a clipboard?
If they wanted to win any games, I think they'd keep me as far away as possible. There's a reason they have us at the absolute top of the bleachers with a table separating me from the court. That's as close as I should be next to a court, especially not coaching. I can tell you what not to do. Just everything I say, do the opposite of.
They'll pay you to coach the other team.
Perfect.
Timeout over. Portage bit ringed out by their coach, Klaus. They're just trying to iron out any of the wrinkles in this Portage team with their season on the line starting on Tuesday. It's the old term from that 1980s NC State team, survive and advance. Inbounds play and a rejection, but a foul is called as Stockdale tried to block it from behind on Dennis Moran III, and they say that he caught Moran on the side of the head.
Yeah, he's not happy. He's confused with the call. He thought he got all ball there. Nice rotation, but like you said, just caught some contact there.
So Moran back to the line. And I've really been impressed with how Moran has consistently scored the basketball. You talked about how Bryce Kobe can score from all three levels. We've seen the exact same thing from Dennis Moran III. He scored down low, he scored from the mid-range, and he hit a few threes in that first half.
It really is no surprise when you put the common denominator between the three that they all play for that Darius Garland elite.
Yes.
They all kind of play like him to an extent with that patience and three-level scoring. Having that live dribble, able to get shots up off a dribble pull-up, and then make plays for their teammates off of it. It's a great skill set to have, and all three of them carry it.
Darius Garland from Gary, Indiana, went to Vanderbilt. Participated in the three-point contest last year with the Cavaliers. Now he's with the Clippers. Line drive three is no good, and a over-the-back call on Hinton. And for Joshua Hinton, that's his second foul.
Stay aggressive, though. That's what we've been talking about. You definitely want to stay aggressive if you're him.
March is coming up in a week. Big time of the year for the basketball fan, especially in the state of Indiana with Hoosier Hysteria. March Madness, of course, between conference tournaments and the national championship tournament. That will conclude in the heart of our state, Indianapolis. Kobe's three is no good. Cameron, offensive rebound, and Hinton rejects his shot. And the whistle sounds. There was a foul below the basket, and it'll be pinned on Emilio Cameron.
Way to use your size there for Hinton. I like you. Piggyback off what you say. There's no better place in the nation, really anywhere, to watch basketball at any level here than the state of Indiana. I mean, there's nothing like high school basketball, especially once you get into that tournament here in Indiana. It's so fun.
Well, the state of Indiana really has been underneath the microscope when it comes to sports between Purdue making the national championship a few years ago. 3 is off. And then the Colts got off to a hot start. IU just won the national championship in football. The Pacers were in the finals. And if Tyrese Halliburton doesn't get hurt, possibly they win that Game 7 against the Thunder. Feed down low, and a good shot by Mikey Rivera.
And who knows, might be adding a second professional football team.
Yeah, the Chicago Bears talking about moving to Hammond, and which Zach Miller was being interviewed for WGN, correct? Or was it NBC5?
NBC5.
NBC5.
They caught me working here, doing a report here on the Region Sports Network, and who do you think? There were 2 people there at Wolf Lake. You know, you think every other big media outlet would be there. We're working hard over here on the Region Sports Network. It was us there recording with my mom, Julie Miller, recording video for that, and guess who shows up NBC5? I'm like, you guys are late to the party. So it's been a fun time here in Northwest Indiana covering that.
Yeah, you graduated from a Hammond school. I am a son of 2 Hammond High graduates. So it was really cool to see Hammond being recognized in the national media and people looking up, where is Hammond, Indiana? And they got their answers.
And then they like to put graphics. It's like it's a cornfield or something. You guys really never have seen Hammond, have you? I don't know if there's a single open part of land for even corn in Hammond.
Most people have only heard of Indiana because of Stranger Things and IU football. Dennis Moran fills up the cup for 2 more points, and it belongs to a 22-point lead for Portage.
Like you said, always fun to see Hammond in the news. Nice to see a Hammond team here. Morton. Speak myself, as a proud Gavitt Gladiator graduate. Final graduating class. That's where you'll find me rooting for Morton. I'll root for them tonight. You know, they're the school left. They absorbed Gavitt. I'll leave it at that.
I do appreciate whenever we were at the studios doing the RSN zone, and you had those wall of jerseys behind us, and a Hammond jersey still finds its way on there as a cameo. And I know that had to be from you.
No, maybe.
You're the one that keeps fighting for it to stay.
It could have been me.
Miscommunication turns into a Josiah Brown turnover. Tried to find P.J. Brown.
March 10th, we'll be having the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame here broadcasted live on the Region Sports Network from the Hammond Civic Center.
Just saw the class of Hammond Hall of Famers. So congratulations to them.
We'll be doing live interviews and coverage for everything that goes on there from the Hammond Civic Center there, once again, March 10th.
Yeah, this has been one of the busier seasons that RSN has had since football started to basketball. It's a big shout out to you in the front office, especially the sports director, Mike DeWan. He said we were going to do more basketball. He did not lie. Good ball movement and a dunk. Joshua Hinton rises. And a two-handed slam.
He's clapping his hands, getting low in a defensive stance. He wants this one to go.
It's a 20-point game. Maybe that's a play that gets the Governors going.
He's had a really nice third quarter here, Andrew.
Started feeding him more. And there he is with the rejection. And look at the 2 players who are on the floor. You talked about it, Hinton and Gibson, and it has really thrown a wrinkle at Portage.
And that's really, in my opinion, that's their best play in this case, Andrew. As you see here, we're going to be looking at the block here.
And another rejection. It's a block party, and Hinton's invaded everyone. And a block. The Governors have gained some life.
Momentum on the side of the Governors. Let me tell you, this is on especially defensively. Here's the reason why I said it, Andrew. I would like to have Gibson and Hinton on the floor together, because you just look at their 2 body types. One in Gibson is built for that on-ball post defense with his lower center of gravity and weight. And then Hinton, 6'7" long, but lanky, he's perfect. He's like a prototypical weak side shot blocker build. And you see that on these past few possessions, Andrew, where they're trying to get the ball. Gibson's taking the point of attack at the rim, and then Hinton just has free reign to come on the weak side and get that out of there.
Well, the tough part for Portage is they lost Emilio Cameron. As he headed off the floor, it looks like he might have been scratched and some blood as they treated to his arm. He was wearing the number 21. Now he's sporting the number 23.
He's a tough kid, man. I think that's maybe the 2nd or 3rd time this year I've seen that happen to him, where he's had to swap out a jersey mid-game for some blood on there or something. It's a tough kid.
And not too many players in high school basketball are going to say, oh, yeah, I have a backup jersey for whenever I bleed.
I think he's probably got 3 or 4. They got the whole storage closet for him.
Seriously, I need a roster with all 3 or 4 of his numbers. He's rostered as 10. He was wearing 21, now 23. Now it was a tough shot.
Just look for him on the offensive glass. You usually find him there.
Corner 3, not enough on it. Offensive rebound. And one. Javon Rumpf takes a tumble, and as he's falling to the ground, kisses it off the glass. And this has turned into a 17-point game.
Rumpf, crashing there onto the boards, takes the power dribble, left hand falling down, gets the foul and the hoop and the harm.
That is the 3rd foul on Dennis Moran III. And converting the 3-point play is Rumpf. And a timeout will be called, as this quarter has really turned into Hammond Morton coming alive, and it's a full timeout from Dennis Walker, or Darnell Walker, correction, and the Governors. We'll take a 30-second break as you're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Welcome back to the Region Sports Network. Andrew Miles with Zach Miller. And Zach, these Hammond Morton Governors are playing some really good basketball to close out this 3rd quarter.
Both ends of the ball, Andrew. They've been able to push the pace, force turnovers, and especially protect the rim. Joshua Hinton probably has 3 or 4 blocks at least here in this quarter alone, where he's been able to come on the weak side, force misses, and then they get out in transition and get easy makes or force fouls to get them to the free throw line. Now they've only cut this deficit to 16, but they have all the momentum here.
And I got to say that they might have just found something with Joshua Hinton and Aaron Gibson being on the floor. If I'm Darnell Walker, I am seriously considering starting those 2 guys in their game against LC on Tuesday.
And I'll tell you what, because then you got the guys on the outside, your leading scorer, with Broadnax, and then Jaquan Brown's done an incredible job. If you do the inside out with Hinton and Gibson and then get into your scores on the outside, you may have something.
A layup for Gerard Krall. Jared Krall, the sophomore, received a nice pass from Mikey Rivera after they broke the trap coming up from the Governors.
For all the praise you've given them, though, it's Portage who's been controlling this game, especially getting those back cuts on the backside.
Just when you thought you had them beat, they run a play like that, strung some passes together, no real urgency. Hinton in the post. And a foul's called. And they'll call a hold on Krall.
And you see, that was great for him to get his points there, because I could tell you I've covered a lot of these Portage games this year, Andrew. This is the first minutes I've seen from Krall all year, because he is the tallest player on the roster at 6'5". You could see as we're talking with Gibson Hinton, they're forcing that ball inside for the Governors. This is Portage and Coach Klaus's response saying, we got to get some size out there.
So that was the 5th foul on Portage, and that will send Hinton to the line. Hinton's got another year. He's only a junior, and if he can iron out some of the weaknesses of his game, he can really turn into a star. And some teams are going to have some real troubles with him in the 2026-2027 season.
I kind of feel like Shaq when I say something like this, but it's like, just use your body, big man.
Seriously.
It's really, frankly, it's not like he's out there shooting jumpers the whole game, but it's when he's putting his body and his force on the game, that's where you're feeling it, because you're seeing like, oh, this kid's big and tall, and you're feeling his impact.
Krall against Hinton. As Hinton came down, back to the top. Moran, floater over Hinton. It rolls off the iron. Krall rebound. Krall hit by Gibson.
Nice rebounding following the shots there. I like the little bit of time we've got here for Krall at the end of this 3rd quarter. Already got that bucket, fighting hard on the rebounds.
You mentioned it earlier. But I do always appreciate when I watch a basketball game, and I feel like I'm transported back to the 90s and early 2000s, where games are won by mid-range shots, offensive rebounding, and post-scoring.
Yes, and then getting the three-point shots off of that at the last resort. And that's Portage basketball. Coach Klaus will tell you that's what he wants. He wants from the inside out.
Battle for the board, won by Morton. 16-point game after Carl goes 0 for 2. No look. Broadnax back to the top. Brown, he's going to hoist a three. It's off to the left. A heave at the end of the quarter. It goes sailing and hits the camera operator behind the basket. And she's okay.
She got out of the way at the last second.
The fans went, ooh, and they're giving her the thumbs up. She's giving them the thumbs up back. She's fine. Third quarter comes to a close. Portage up 16 with 8 minutes to go. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
You're watching Indiana High School boys basketball on the Region Sports Network. Andrew Mild, Zach Miller settling into the fourth quarter, and the Portage Indians are 8 minutes away from their 19th win, their third in a row, and they'll be facing off against the Chesterton Trojans on Tuesday. But really, some really impressive minutes for the Governors to close out that third quarter, Zach.
And then get some momentum. You're only down 16. You get a great quarter here. You can win this game. But especially looking forward to your sectional matchup. You got something to build on here.
Kobe with an opening three. It's slightly off. Possession staying alive. Cameron, of course, securing the second chance look. Kobe cuts, and Brown was able to deter it. Find a man in the corner. That three just off to the right. Cameron with a second offensive rebound. And finally, Hinton ends the possession for the Indians.
Yeah, guess who got that block on that play? That's probably at least 5 here now. All really in the second half. I don't think he had one in the first.
Brown being double-teamed, and they're going to blow the whistle. I believe Mikey Rivera was caught reaching in.
Now, these are some plays here. If I'm Portage, I would want to see maybe Coach Klaus, run some screens and maybe try and get some mismatches. Maybe trying to have Hinton switch onto your guards on the outside and then force it from there. Take him away from the basket.
Inbounds play, set up Broadnax three, and it's slightly off the mark.
Or run in transition.
Yeah, you saw the awareness there from Josiah Brown to slow it down immediately. He dribbled it out. And an illegal screen. P.J. Brown was called for that reach-in on the other side. Now he's called for an illegal screen. That's 3 fouls on the sophomore.
3 fouls there. But like we're saying, for that set offense here for Portage, it's now as both teams have settled in here in this fourth quarter, it's been really tough for Portage to get their looks on the inside because of the settled-in defense on the interior. So, yeah, I'd try and get Hinton on the outside, make him switch, and bring him away from the basket because that's where they're swallowing up every shot.
Gibson in the post, left hand, rolls in. Gibson got a lot of touches in the first quarter, and he's been quiet the past 2. Now they're trying to feed the beast that is Aaron Gibson.
I'm having Al Jefferson flashbacks. It's wonderful to see.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Aaron Gibson, if you don't have a fan club, I'm starting it. You're my favorite basketball player to watch this year.
The Aaron All-Stars.
There you go.
What a play by Portage.
Maybe after the Mikey Rivera one. Great back cut. That's the Portage basketball we know.
Kobe
Ball movement.
caught the inbounds pass. No look, behind the back pass to Rivera, cutting, going right down Broadway for the layup. Gibson's three was off, and then Brown tipped it out of bounds. And now we're going to see the Governors implement a full court press to see if they can generate some turnovers and easy looks. They break it with ease, the Indians. And a foul from behind. Is taking a spill is P.J. Brown.
Popped right back up, though.
Been a rough fourth quarter for Brown. 2 fouls, 1 defensive, 1 offensive, so he also has a turnover. I think he gets fouled from behind, hitting the ground.
These Portage Indians, man, like we were talking with Cameron, they play tough.
Oh, yes.
That's what it takes when you're undersized. They may be undersized, but they play up above their height.
For Portage, the reason why they buy in so much is that Brian Klaus, who's had 5 straight winning seasons now with the Indians, has really bought into the AAU system, starting young, building them up. Because as we said earlier, this team's played together since the 3rd grade. Same for the last group that was here that took them to a sectional championship into regionals. Bad pass from Hinton. And you see that these guys are bought in, not just for the team, but for each other.
Yes, they make compromises. They sacrifice for each other.
Especially their bodies. What a block. Rumpf elevating and sending that shot back.
Doesn't just have to be Hinton getting the shot blocks.
A 3. Splash. Broadnax.
13-point game here for a little over 5 minutes.
This Morton team is not going away.
And this is what we were talking about with Coach Walker before the game, Andrew. When they get things clicking, when they start putting possessions together, they start looking like a really good team. They have it in there.
And Portage right now is just playing a sloppy brand of basketball.
Gibson able there to force the turnover, stepping up on Kobe. As you take a look at the replay here.
Darnell Walker has spent another timeout.
Rumpf with that great block there, helping.
It's a full timeout. We'll stay right here as we get another look at this replay.
Deep 3 there from Broadnax. That was a great 3. He's been getting a few shots up here now in the second half.
And I've been really impressed with this Morton team. They could have easily packed it in, said, you know what, we're not going to win this one. We'll get ready for our game against LC on Tuesday. But instead, this is the best few minutes they've been able to string together the entire game. It's a completely different team from what we saw in that first half altogether.
And you got to give credit to both sides, to both the players and the coaches. For the players giving great effort through this whole game, much better than what they started. And from the coaches making the adjustments. I mean, quickly, for example, switching out of the zone, going into man, tightening up on the backside, putting different alignments of players in. You know what I mean? They've been getting punched, but they counterpunch. You know, that's what good coaches do. They say, okay, this is going well or this isn't going well. What do we need to change to adjust? And Coach Walker and staff have done a great job here ever since that first quarter, especially in this second half of adjusting.
Coming out of that timeout, how do you feel about Darnell Walker using that timeout after his team's gotten some defensive stops and hit a 3?
You know, sometimes you think, you know, it's like, okay, you want to not kill the momentum, but I think it's more or less a team where we were talking about focus earlier with those possessions. It's to rein in and say, okay, we're doing great. Let's keep doing great. Don't forget what's helping us do well right now.
Rumpf running the point for Hammond Morton. They're down 13. They've trailed for most of this game. The screen sets up a straightaway 3. It's off to the left. That was Etienne Newsome, and a reach-in foul. 4:18 to go. Morton not out of it yet. They can go on a big run here. They would cut the lead into single digits.
If you're Portage here, though, you want to take care of the ball and not play into what kind of that Portage brand of defense that Morton's playing now, just trying to pressure them and force turnovers. It's going to make smart decisions.
Rivera, bounce pass, feeding Moran in the post, and Moran is on the board in the fourth quarter.
And that's exactly what I mean by smart decisions. Put the ball into your two best players this game's hands between Moran and Rivera.
That will make any old basketball fan happy the way Mikey Rivera has played basketball tonight. Pass first type of point guard. Broadnax with another huge three, keeping the hopes alive for the Governors. It's a 12-point game. Brown steps in. Battle for the ball. It's on the ground. There's a pile of humanity trying to get to that basketball. Jump ball, and it belongs to the Governors.
That was a great job there to run Josiah Brown off the three-point line. He's the most prolific shooter on this Portage team, and that's a shot he wants to get up, and Morton knew that. They've been coached that well that way to where when he saw him at the three-point, run him off there, force him into a shot that he didn't want to take. You see it forced a turnover there, and now it's going to be Indians' ball, looks like they have for now. Should be Morton, I believe, and they switch it.
It looks like possibly the scores table was a little quick with their possession arrow, and it switched it before the referees took notice. Because the scoreboard has it as Governor's ball, and we're behind the scores table, so we can't see their possession arrow down there. But they've made the correction, and it is Hammond Morton ball. Another big three, and it's a 9-point game. It's been this man, Broadnax, who's hit a couple of those threes. He's being guarded tightly by Rivera. Not allowing any sort of separation. Back to the post. Hinton, skip pass. Broadnax, why not? High bounce, no luck. Ball rolling around like a pinball, and Kobe corrals it down. Long pass completed to Rivera. 3 minutes to go. Rivera gets a screen from Moran. P.J. Brown, wide open. Moran, double team came over to help. And Portage is playing patient. They understand that the clock is their friend right now.
Turn that clock.
Gibson pumped up, clapping his hands together, playing sound defense. Moran gets it out of there. Kobe took his eye off the ball as Brown went to toss it to him. And another fantastic defensive stand by the Governors.
Great stand indeed. You saw Gibson getting excited with the rest of his team there, forcing them not being able to get inside the free throw line there, forcing a turnover, and Kobe took his eye off the ball.
Despite it being a turnover, Portage was able to milk a lot of clock in that one possession. So that's at least the positive note in an empty possession for Portage. Hinton flashes into the lane, and a blocking foul is pinned on Emilio Cameron. Hinton to the line.
That's the benefit of coming into the half with a 19-point lead. I mean, you could play poorly in the second half. You still got a lot of points to give up, you know.
But as you said it, it's not about the win or loss tonight. It's about building up for their game on Tuesday. And if you're Brian Klaus, you're wondering what happened to your team in this fourth quarter.
Exactly, but I will tell you this, though. On the counter, you know, even if it's not going so well in the second half, this is a great look for Portage to see them getting beat by size.
Yes.
Because if they lose, and when they have lost this year, that's how it's happened. They've lost by size, and this is another look for them on how to try and counter that, how they can try and win or beat around that, because that's going to be their issue. If they lose, it's going to be size.
And once again, it's a miscommunication as Moran, without even looking, threw a pass, and Bryce Kobe cut the other direction. And with that, the clock never ran. And it'll go back to Morton underneath the basket. And earlier, it led to a Hinton layup. Let's see if they go back to that play. They are. Hinton defers it to a corner three. It spits itself out. Brown keeps the possession alive, but he dribbles it out of bounds.
Great hands on the interior there by Portage. Gave up the offensive rebound, but made up for it by forcing the ball, forcing a turnover there, getting their hand on the ball.
Press still being ran by the Governors. Rivera one-on-one with Broadnax up the floor. Finally breaks it with a pass. Kobe is hit. No foul call, but Bryce Kobe converts the shot.
What touch. I mean, foul, body contorted, going. He's moving his body to the right, shoots it with the left with contact.
A triple team. And it seems as though that pass was deterred, and Brown still dribbled it out of bounds.
Couple possessions there Brown wants back. Dribbling out of bounds.
13-point game. Portage looking for the kill shot here to ice it and conclude their regular season with one more win. Kobe lost it, regained it. Moran was found cutting to the basket, and Hinton bodied him. And that's a quality I've really appreciated watching this Portage team. Even when they lose the ball, they don't panic because they understand someone is going to come and help them, whether it cut to an open lane, get themselves open, just to get out of that really tough spot.
That's something that coaches preach, is just movement. Moving to the ball, moving off the ball, moving to the loose ball, moving in general, movement. That's what coaches want to see, and this Portage team does that incredibly.
Don't forget, at the conclusion of tonight's broadcast, we'll have some awards to hand out, some thank yous as we wrap up the boys basketball regular season on this Friday night in late February. As we get geared up for our coverage of Hoosier Hysteria starting on Tuesday with these two teams in sectionals 1 and 2. 80 seconds left in this contest. And a timeout was called. And it'll be a 30-second timeout for the Governors. We will stay here. For Raymond Morton, Lake Central, for me, it's going to be a good game. Earlier on in the year, the Lake Central Indians, they won that game by 21. But for me, if Hammond Morton can find a way to attack the post consistently, that's going to create some really good things for them, as we saw them hit some really tough threes after the in-and-out game.
Yes, especially in the way I view it from covering a few games of both now at this point. The star player there for Lake Central, Noah Enyart,
yes,
he's going to be working on the inside 6'6". You know, if Morton, if I were them, I would want to attack the way we were talking about. If you put Gibson on him, who's shown to be able to move his feet quite well for his size, you put him as the primary on-ball defender on the Enyart, and then have Hinton as the shot blocker waiting by the rim, I think they could have some success with that defensive scheme.
Portage will gear up for Chesterton on Tuesday, and that team's got some stars. Logan Bacorny has been one of my favorite players to watch this year. There was a game against Andrain where he hit 5 straight threes. An illegal screen. And it appears it's going to go on Jaquan Brown, and it will. For Brown, that's his 4th foul. And that was the last one to give for the visiting Governors. Gibson will run off as a goal for more agility in their substitution. Minute 15 remaining in this game. Good ball movement, breaks the press. Rivera's pass tipped, and P.J. Brown able to recover it. Back to Rivera. 60 seconds. Kobe, Moran. They are just milking this clock away. The 4 corners type offense, and Brown had to intentionally foul. And for Jaquan Brown, that's his 5th foul. He is done for tonight. Mikey Rivera, who was fouled there, will go to the line, as that will put Portage in the bonus.
Gave a really good effort there. Jaquan Brown throughout this whole game played really hard. Rivera shooting 67% from the free throw line.
Yeah, season. He went 0 for 2 earlier. One of those strange plays that you see in basketball is a player that misses his free throws, and then Mikey Rivera, after those 2 missed free throws, hit a 3.
You know, sometimes I think the shot's just miscalibrated. That's what I call it, you know. So, working from outside, not so much on the inside.
Mikey Rivera splits the 2. Puts them 1 for 4 at the line. 15-point game. And Morton just got to start hoisting shots. Missed shot. Hinton keeping the possession alive. 3-pointer from the left wing. It's off. Kobe soars off the top shelf for the rebound. And the Indians will be more than glad to run out this clock. But a ball has been lost by Brown. He gets it back. and they'll get it to the other side. And Morton still with the effort. Wide open is Dennis Moran, the third. He'll add to his already incredible scoring night. Might get one more shot. There it is. It's an air ball. And that's how the game will end. The Portage Indians conclude their regular season going 19-4, winning their last three. Hammond Morton will wrap up at 4-19, losing 5 of their last 6. We will step aside, get some final thoughts, hand out some awards, some thank yous, and wrap up the regular season finale of boys basketball here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you heard? Stratton-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton-Manteau.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
Located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, the newly renovated Hampton Inn is within walking distance to over 30 restaurants and attractions, including Lucas Oilfield and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a fitness center. Why wait? Make your reservations today. Call 317-261-1200 or make them on the web at hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
The Indians victorious on this Friday to close out the month of February and get ready for their sectional opener against Chesterton on Tuesday. Andrew Mild with Zach Miller, the final here, 58-41. Zach, final thoughts before we hand out some awards.
I was impressed by both teams today. You know, Portage got off to that big lead in the first half, up 19, really executed well, starting inside, going out. Then I really liked what we saw from Morton in the second half, closing that gap. And then, the final score ended up at 17, but really when it was consequential, they got down to about 10 or 12. I thought both teams really found something. At the end of this game for the final one going into sectionals, I think they found what they want going into their next matchups for each of them.
For our first award, it's the Crowell Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies have offices open from 9 to 7, Monday through Friday, and Saturdays till 2 in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City. And, Zach, this was a player that we talked about in the pregame show because he's really stepped up in the scoring column after the loss of Carter Kobe. Hopefully they'll see him back on Tuesday. Yes, Dennis Moran III. He did an incredible job, like you were saying, who's going to step up and who has stepped up for Kobe, picking up that scoring load. It was Moran in this game. He had a lot of back cuts. Whenever there was a bit of pressure on the Portage offense of, okay, we need to get the ball out, who's going to be the open man? It was Moran more times often than not. Close to the rim, drawing fouls, getting a few pull-up jumpers, making some from outside. He made his presence felt on the offensive end today. Did a great job, Dennis Moran III. Next up is the blue-collar player of the game. That is brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Learn about apprenticeship programs and more at local374.org. And, Zach, when a player gets cut battling for a rebound, it has to wear a new jersey. And you said that he has a closet full of them because of that same instance. For me, that's your blue-collar player of the game. Emilio Cameron, number 21 on our roster. I think started at 10, wore 23 as well today. I mean, the man of every different jersey possible, Emilio Cameron. He was the big designated big man today in this game, and like he has been all season for the Indians. He did a great job battling against Gibson and hitting the two bigs for Morton. Coach Klaus telling us before the game they really had to focus on stopping that interior attack from the Governors. And Cameron, with his tough play, he got busted up bloody, had to change his jerseys like he does almost every other game. It was a great performance on blue-collar effort against on the inside there for Cameron. And finally, Justin Cole has it pulled up. It's our Proud to Be Union play of the game, sponsored by Ironworkers Local 395. For more information on the apprenticeship program, check out ironworkers395.com. 46-24 here inside. Kicks it on the backside to Hinton. Two-handed jam right there, getting it from the double team up by the free throw line. He does a nice back cut along the baseline. Dunks on the rim. He had a great second half, and that was the highlight there with that incredible dunk responding to the defense. And that's what really kickstarted some really good minutes of basketball for Hammond Morton to close out their regular season. They'll be going up against LC in Sectional 1 at Crown Point High School. Portage will go to Chesterton to take on Chesterton to start off Sectional 2. You can find all the sectional action on regionsports.com. For our management, executive producer Chris Ramirez, operations manager Rich Castillo, and sports director himself, Mike DeWan. Wanted to give out some special thanks to Darnell Walker Jr. and Brian Klaus, the two head coaches, the athletic directors Sean Kenzie at Morton and Brett St. Germain here at Portage, and of course to the viewers at regionsports.com, YouTube/regionsports, Facebook/regionsportsnation, in the IHSAA Champions Network. For our producer Justin Cole, my partner Zach Miller, that's Miller with two eyes, I've been Andrew Mild. This has been Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Crowell Insurance Company, the insurance superheroes. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. Mark Macknick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.